knowing your partner's love language, all right, will help you. And what it was saying was it's supposed to help them feel more loved and appreciated. Y'all know I love Google.
Good morning, my love.
Grand Rising, my baby.
Welcome to the podcast, and you are here with a couple conversations with Nate and Shay. And
Shalom.
Shalom. We're doing a little different this week. We decided to start the morning out while the house is still quiet. As y'all know, we got multiple children.
Multiple.
And we got one home from college right now. So, baby, what are your thoughts on love languages?
So, in my research, first of all, I thought, and I'm just being transparent, I thought that the love languages was like, just like an idiom people use, like, oh, this is my love language, this is my love language. I didn't know that that was an actual thing. So, when I Googled what are love languages, it came up, the 5 love languages, and it's actually a book. Which this video is inspired by that because I kind of want to do a deep dive into what the 5 love languages are and
what they look like.
What they look like. I'm talking about in actual, like, practicality wise, like in actual working relationship, like
how they function, how they benefit.
Exactly.
What's the cons of them?
Yeah.
Well, that's something I want to touch on today. Is what they are.
Right.
What some of the positives are. The negatives.
Right.
If it's perceived wrong.
Right.
And also, I want to touch on how we tend to believe that we have one love language.
Right. Which, to add what you just said to what you just said, I'm looking at what the 5 love language, what the types are. So, do you mind if I give a little bit of like that?
Well, let me name
detail.
them. Let me name them. So I came up with, and I call it GATS. GATTS. All right. So you got gifts. You got words of affirmation. You got time. You got touch. You got acts of service.
Right.
So that's what they are.
Makes
so
sense.
Go ahead and.
All right. So the words of affirmation, quality time, like you said, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. Knowing your partner's love language. All right, will help you. And what it was saying was it's supposed to help them feel more loved and appreciated. Y'all know I love Google. And I was actually being facetious. Because to me, it's like there's no feeling in Google. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's not an implied, you know what I mean?
There's
like
no emotional connection.
Right, it's nothing there. And so you have to kind of fill in the gaps. And for the people that don't know how to fill in the gaps, that can be very hard because a lot of times people take things very, very literally. And so you have to be able to put in the, I can't think of the word, but the non-literal and just common sense type factors with anything you search on Google. But more specifically, when it applies to your relationship.
Well, and emotion.
And emotion,
because love is an emotion.
Right.
Google is a program.
But to me, love is not just an emotion. Love is a very, very complex definition. Like the definition of love is very, very complex.
Right.
Because yes, it's an action, but it's also what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a feeling, it's an emotion.
Well, see, feeling and emotion, and that's an action. Those are action words. This is more of I'll come up with it, but I'm just saying, like, love is like not just feeling, it just is. Like, love is, it just is.
Right.
Like, I can't explain it in those of you that are more educated with me, if you want to, you can drop in the comments what I'm trying to say. But love is, it just is. It's an emotion, it's a feeling, it's a way of being. It's more than just an action word. You know what I mean?
Right.
Love is defining all in itself. So you can't really define love.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You can define the book aspect of it.
Right.
But you can't define what it truly encompasses.
Exactly. And the largest definition and the most encompassing, I should say, definition I come up with is Yah is love.
Right.
So as complex and as omnipresent and as focused and as all the things that Yah is, our creator is, that's love.
Right.
So again, you cannot necessarily define it. So not to get too deep and get off into a rabbit hole, I want to kind of touch on what you were saying about the love languages and how so just scanning through the book and agreeing with what you said earlier, because Babe and I were having this discussion, you can't really have one singular primary love language that you just that is more.
When you say that's my love language.
Yeah, like that's more in tune to who you are as a person. And maybe it's because I'm a little bit more complex than.
Well, but that's the same way I felt when we were talking about it, and when I was trying to research for this, is I think people have a preferred love language.
Right.
But I believe after reading this, like, you need all 5 of them in your life.
For sure. Some more than others.
Right.
Got it.
But if you're trying to have a well-balanced relationship, you need a little bit of all 5 of them.
Well, and then too, I kind of feel like that there's a cycle of change there that happens. Like, you could be, let's say, acts of service could be the one that you have right now that really speaks to you right now in your relationship. And then maybe 2 years from now, there may be a switch, which you can go back to our last podcast where we talked about like the switch and how, you know, you can kind of combat that or just kind of act, you know, or how to act and how to navigate the switch, right? But like in a couple years, I may be like, hey, you know, my love language is gifts, you know. Or like in a couple years, I could go back to and be like, my love language is physical touch. So, I mean, I feel like over periods of time, those things could change. Now, it could say that in the book. I don't know. I like I said, I scanned through it. So there's no need for anybody to get in the comments and correct. Well, she said that wrong. No, I didn't read the book.
Get in the comments.
I didn't read the book. So I scanned through it because I didn't even know the book existed.
Right.
Until like a couple days ago. So I'm just saying as far as my understanding that my heartfelt expression of what I think about the 5 love languages, I just feel like a lot of it will apply, but then sometimes it doesn't.
Right. Well, one thing I think with all 5 of them is very important, and we somehow we end up touching on this on every one of our podcasts, is communication.
Thanks.
Because stuff can be perceived wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because my idea of a gift could be possibly, I mean, not now.
Right.
I mean, we got enough history to know, like, I can't go hand you a saw and be like, happy birthday.
No, I mean, let me say this. It depends on it. Because there could be times where Babe and I love working up. We like doing anything together. Let's be clear. We just love being together. But we work well together, right? I feel like dually, like together, our love language is spending quality time together for both of us. Like one of our main ones. Babe,
no.
he stop.
All I'm gonna say is it starts with a T, but it ain't time.
Babe. Anyway, he is turning. Y'all see him? He's slowly turning red. He does it to himself. Y'all see? I don't embarrass him.
I'm not embarrassed.
I understand. Babe, stay on topic.
I'm on topic.
T mean topic.
Touch.
Anyway, back to the saw for my birthday. Like, if we were working on a project and it was something that me and you both look forward to doing, and you bought me a saw, I wouldn't be offended.
Right, but we got to that point through communication.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like newly married, right? And you're working outside. Well, I'm working outside, and I'm like, I'm thinking it's cute because I want you to come participate, but I don't communicate those thoughts, and I give you a saw, and you're like,
what?
The hell?
What?
What's wrong with you?
Right.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Gifts can be, if you don't communicate and pay attention to your partner, then they can be misunderstood.
I mean, that's true. That is very true.
I mean, if I don't pay attention and somebody's allergic to strawberries or peanuts and I go out and buy them something with it.
Right.
Like, are you trying to kill me?
Right.
You trying to kill me?
This is set up. You know, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be offended now.
Right.
You know, but I get your point.
So, I need to buy you a new lawnmower.
No, you just got a lawnmower 3 years ago.
But it's 3 years old.
An expensive lawnmower too.
3 years old. So I need to buy you a lawnmower.
You need to buy me one.
Right.
So is this lawnmower math?
Yes.
No. Anyway, so but yes, let me go back to this. There was one other point I wanted to make. Affirmations. You are very good at that. So let me touch on that. So
see, back to the touch.
Anyway, the words of affirmation as a love language, Babe has always been very good at it. You know, which I think, am I good at it? Am I good at affirming words?
I would say so.
I'm saying to you, like,
yeah,
instead of me telling you to stop all the time.
Yeah, be like, you stink.
Babe, stop. No, Babe he's very, very mischievous. Yes.
No.
Yes. The word of today is mischievous. Babe is mischievous. He can be like a very naughty 12-year-old boy. Now.
She said naughty.
Yeah, naughty. You do stuff to get a reaction out of me. I figured that out.
No.
Yeah.
Not out of you.
Who you trying to get it out of then?
Life.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
It's life. Life be life.
Never a dull day. Never a dull moment. I'm never bored. Ever. This man keeps me on my toes. Because I know what he's thinking before he says it. And so
and many times I get the don't.
No. Just like
don't.
Y'all just saw. Yeah, I can't. Like I see his facial expressions change and I know it's bubbling up inside.
It's coming out.
So the word, no, not mischievous. The word for today is not mischievous. The word for today is stop. Stop. Anyway, so but yeah, I just, you know, sometimes you think that I would say for me, sometimes I think that I'm not giving affirming words because it comes from, it is so innate. Like it just comes just because I love you and I see you.
Right.
I see what you do. I see how hard you work. I see, how you love us. And sometimes I notice things that you don't think I notice. So like, that's the reason why I'm like, you're doing a good job, babe. You work so hard. I want to help you. I want to, make sure that you're good. I'm praying over you. You beautiful. You handsome. You're such a good protector. I love you.
I love you too.
So, all the little affirming things that I can say to you, which, is that a thing for you? Do you like that? I mean, I never asked you that because
it's weird because like affirming words, and I can't, my memory sucks, right? So like
your short-term memory sucks.
Well, I don't remember nothing from when I was younger except the mischievous stuff I got into.
I thought you were about to
I would say that the stuff that, that was dramatic, like
right.
I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
But like, I knew my dad loved me. I don't really recall, so I'm not going to say he didn't say, like, I love you, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you understand that me and my mom's relationship's a little different, so I don't really remember that either. But, like, I'm one of those that now, with you, like, the affirming words is one of those things, like, I don't need it, but I notice if it's not there.
Right, okay, I get it.
Like when we get off the phone, it's like, all right, I love you, I'll talk to you in a little while, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I know if you, like, in a rush, and you're like, all right, I'll talk to you later. And I'm like, you didn't say I love you. But I understand, because
right.
you have a customer come in or an employee, and I understand you're getting off the phone and the quickness, so it's not personal. But I was just making a point that like I don't feel like I need it, but I definitely notice it when it's not there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think too, and this is so funny, I never knew that this was a thing till it was a thing. The whole Generation X thing.
I still get confused about all that. But.
So, I always knew that my generation was some savages because of how we were
left to fend for ourselves in the wild.
Yeah, raised like wolves. No, but in all honesty, like, so we require different though. You know what I'm saying? The things that, like, we don't get emotional about stuff as often as the other generations.
Right.
We don't.
I didn't get my participation trophy.
We were more latchkey kids.
Right.
You had to let yourself in. You're gonna make you some oodles and noodles when you get home from school. Ain't no TV. Even though we didn't have cameras, we always felt like we were being watched. You know what I'm saying? But it was that type of thing you had. But it was also the fact that, you kind of, it's like you knew you was loved, but you weren't reminded that you were loved.
Right.
Right?
It was like, you ain't dead, so I must love you.
Right. But did you die?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But did you die?
And
that in itself is like the way that our generation, me and you, we were raised. So it's like, when you talk about the 5 love languages, it's like some of that doesn't apply to us because it's like you almost wanted to question back in the day, like, what is love? And like, is that a thing for real? Or is that something y'all just made up? You know what I'm saying?
Right, because you hear about it, like, because you'd watch the TV shows and you'd be like, oh, they love each other.
Right, like,
but
what is that?
In real life, you're like, do I really know what love is?
Right,
like,
exactly.
I know what it looked like on TV.
Right.
But, like, you don't feel nothing.
Right.
Like you trying to explain it, like, it's more than just a feeling.
Right.
Right? So, like, ours was different because it was more than just a feeling. It was like almost like the little heavenly angel thing.
Or to us, love was comfort.
Right.
Right? So, like when I was growing up, right, times was hard. Like we went through some things. You see what I'm saying? And so love to me would have looked different for somebody else because of the things that I went through as a kid. You know what I mean? And going into adolescence and going into like being a young adult, teenager, and then beyond, like the things that I went through. If I told you this feels like love to me, you'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
Blink if you need help. Like, you know what I mean? But when I explain that to people, like, oh, okay. So again, that looks different for me.
Right.
The 5 love languages for me may be different than acts of service, affirmation, touch, gifts, things like that. I ain't gotta have it. You know what I mean?
I believe that all of them are to a certain extent with everybody.
Right.
Right? But then that goes back to what we said before, the communication, right? Because we are touchy-feely people, right? Some people don't like it, but they want the touch, but they don't want it to certain levels.
Right.
But then if you don't communicate that to your significant other,
right,
now you feel like they're invading your space.
Let me add to that. I didn't like to be touched prior to you, like in ways. Like, I didn't realize I didn't like to be touched until, again, it was an after effect. It was like somebody touched me and I'm like, okay, we about to box. Because I didn't invite you to touch me, like, don't touch me. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, the only thing that somebody can do to me to touch me to make me really be fighting mad is if somebody tapped me, like with their finger. And I'll be like, you know what I mean? Cut the commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, that irks me. I didn't realize it until it happened. And I was like, did you just poke me? Say hello, excuse me, ma'am, Shay, hello, can I get... If you want me to turn around and get my attention, then that's what you say my name, address me, ma'am, whatever, B word, whatever. I would much rather you do that than to be poking me in my, ooh, I didn't know that was a thing, right? So then in meeting you and us bonding and entering into a relationship, courtship, whatever, when you touched me, it was different. It was like, oh, this is what loving touch and embrace feels like.
Because there's a big difference.
Yes. Because have y'all ever gotten a hug from somebody that you felt like they was patting your back to look for the soft spot to put the knife? Like, dead serious. Like, I have gotten hugs from somebody because, see, this man opened up something in me that made me feel like, hey, I like hugging. Hugging is nice. And then I went, so then, just being happy and joyful and wanting to express that to other people, you go to hug somebody and then they hug you and you like, what the heck was that? I have been hugged by somebody that really literally made me want to go into immediate prayer right then and there. Like, dead serious. And y'all been hugged like that, you need to go into prayer because I'm telling you, that's a very, very intimate type of thing. Right. You know what I mean? I don't hug everybody. But if somebody come up to me, and again, if somebody really, really want to hug you and they don't really know you like that, I'm gonna need you to be careful, okay? But like, oh, hey, I'm a hugger. And I'm like, I'm a hugger too. So then you go to hug me and it's like, but I don't want to hug you no more. Like, don't ever. You know what I mean? I didn't used to be like that. I didn't used to like touch like that. I didn't used to like that. So then when you open that up in me, like, this is love. I feel safe. I feel secure. Oh, this is what this is. Then it's like you want to share it, but you can't share it with everybody.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So those are the things that I'm talking about that kind of like changes over time. But and it also matters who, when, where, and why.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. I want to go through, and now out of just sheer curiosity, I want to go in and read the book. Because I want to see if they touch on any of what we're talking about.
Right.
I really do. Because I'm if that's a thing, and they didn't touch on it, we're touching on it here. Like, the 5 love languages is all great. I mean, I think it starts a conversation.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Opens the door.
Yeah, opens the door.
So
but
they can put comments down there if they got more questions. We
right.
can go research it for them.
Yeah, it opens the door, but definitely, like, there's other things that need to be discussed, because not everybody have that, you know.
Right, because not everybody it falls into the well-defined category of, all right, so it's this part to this level and that part to that level, and it's called a level because everybody's level is different.
Yeah.
So we touched on that, like, even with touch, you got to have good communication.
Yeah.
I said, because, you know, if yours is different than mine, and then we cross that boundaries, it just creates problems, right? Let's go to the gifts, right? Mm-hmm. So one thing I think about gifts, and, you know, I wish I could do more. You know, one day we'll get there. Besides it being a tangible sign, mm-hmm. right? And be like, hey, I pay attention. I see what you like. I want to give you this because I love you. The problem, the only problem I perceive with that, mm-hmm. it was twofold. Is if you feel like that's, when people out there feel like that's their only way of showing love, right? Then it becomes a material relationship. Mm-hmm. Same way as if, you know, the receiver, that's their sole, like, oh, I need a new bag, or I need a new car, or however. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in that kind of relationship.
Right.
But I think that's some drawbacks with the gifts.
I don't know. I mean, okay, here I go with affirming words again. Babe, you so good with, like, you pay attention. I don't even realize at times how much you pay attention to me. Like, I just say stuff in passing, you know, or I'll be like putting stuff in my Amazon cart. Y'all, I could be on Amazon for hours just look, oh yeah, that would be nice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look, and I'll put it in my Amazon cart. And Babe and I, we can literally be sitting next to each other or laying in the bed just on he'll be on his phone, I'll be on my iPad, on my phone or whatever, and he might glance over and me not even realize it. He'll glance over and look, and then go on back about what he was doing, and I don't realize it, and then he'll just pop up with something. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that for our anniversary, he got me a bag, right? I didn't realize he even understood the assignment. I didn't know until, and I think we mentioned on the last podcast, mm-hmm. how, like, you know, you saw the bag, you ordered it, and you thought I saw it whenever I went on and ordered it. But it's like little stuff like that. Babe is a unicorn. He pays attention to details more than I have ever seen in any man ever in life, right? Like, you literally be like the most minute detail, right? So,
but that could be a bad thing.
For who?
Oh, I'm just saying. They'd be like, oh, why are you nitpicking?
No, And then this the thing is without nitpicking though.
Right.
Like, you can be petty.
Oh yeah, I'm petty.
He is 50 Cent level petty. I'm telling
I
y'all.
don't know. I'm 49 because I can't be 50. 50 got woo.
Anyway, if you know, you know. But I'm just saying, like, so for me and the gifts and stuff like that, it's almost like you study when the perfect time is going to be for you to give me a gift. And here's the crazy part. Babe don't like for me to gift him. He appreciates the gifts, but he doesn't necessarily like for me to gift him. If Babe had it his way, he would have a pair of pants he could wear, a shirt he could wear,
and 62 pairs of Crocs.
62 pairs of Crocs. Like literally, he's very, very simplistic. You don't have to have a lot. But me, if I had it my way, your wardrobe would be, man.
I mean, I appreciate the thought,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I don't, in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like having all that stuff, having 42 different pairs of shoes, and for me,
Uh-huh.
right? I'm not knocking anybody out there that has
Right.
a ton of shoes and clothes and all that. I don't see the function in it, right? Because like, yes, I try to keep a good pair of pants for when we want to go out, right? I got a pair of jeans, a pair of khakis,
Mm-hmm.
right? A couple nice shirts, and then the other stuff, everything is
For me, because I like fashion, right? And I just want to see Babe looking the best he could possibly look, because I know for him, even though he says it doesn't matter, and he's not lying, it doesn't matter. Babe don't care about that stuff, and I don't really either. But when we go out, I want Babe to feel himself. Like, I want him to be like, let me tell y'all something. We went to Vegas, and it ain't even gotta cost a lot of money. I'm just talking about the fashion of it. I'm not talking about you gotta go out and drop a stack on whatever. You know what I mean? But when we went to Vegas, we went to the Ross out there, and Babe found, what's the brand of boot?
Doc Martin.
Doc Martin boots.
They were industrial, steel toe, pull-on boots. They were gray.
So you see how excited he just got about the boots. I liked them because I knew Babe liked them, and I liked them because when he put them boots on, baby, you couldn't tell him nothing. You couldn't tell him nothing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I had it my way, his wardrobe would be full of things that made him feel like that. You see what I'm saying? But he don't want me to gift him.
No. Just focus on that one.
Okay, so yeah, but he don't want me to gift him. He doesn't want me to, like, if I go out and I find stuff that, I feel like Babe would like, he'll be like, babe, why you do that? And he'll be grateful, but it's not a thing for him. He doesn't. Now, I digress. Good. Pum and tools. Pum, if you know, you know. And tools, if I could do that for him, that's his thing. Like, I remember one year I bought almost an entire Matabo set.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come home with piece by piece. It was like,
got the impact and the impact and drill driver.
And then it was the grinder.
Mm-hmm. And then it was the because I needed I kept complaining about my circular saw.
Circular saw then.
And then I had mentioned that their plunge router was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, she had went and picked up a plunge router.
Right. So like, if I could do that every now and then, Babe would be on cloud nine. Excuse me. But those are the things that he likes. So because I know that, instead of me going out and buying him wardrobe and clothes, unless it's a special occasion, which, again, for our for the kid's wedding, I think that was the last time, aside from your work shoes, that was the last thing like suit wise, like wardrobe wise, that you let
Well,
me buy
and I
you?
wouldn't even say my work shoes count because, I mean, if they wouldn't have gave me that $100 credit, I probably wouldn't have bought them.
But yeah, so gifts, you know, is subjective, as with everything else. I just feel like, you know your partner, y'all communicate, you do the things they like. You know what I mean? You do the things they like.
Right. All right. So we kind of touched on affirmations earlier. One thing I find interesting, I've seen social experiments on it, is like people feel sometimes obligated when they say, "Oh, I love you." Well, I love you too. Right? So, but the sincerity needs to be there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't feel that way, I mean, my thing is like, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow if you be like, and you're sincere and you're like, man, I love you. And they're like, that's dope.
Thank you.
Right. So, like, words of affirmation to me is like I said earlier, like, I don't feel like I need them, but I know when they're not there. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So we already kind of touched on that one. Time. This woman right here, that's my person. Like, I love hanging out with her. I come home from work, I'm tired, it's been 10 hours at work. She's like, well, I gotta go to the store. And I'm like, I can't go? I was like, I'll ride in the car, I'll stay in the car. I just like being with her. Like, she, as I said, she is my person.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I mean, again, me and Babe can be true confession. I'm being transparent, because now I feel like, I don't want to say spoiled. I've been highly maintained, so I have a sense of, that's what I like. I don't like the word spoiled. Spoiled is more like ruined.
You call me spoiled when I talk about food.
You're highly maintained, okay? So.
Oh, no, you call me bougie now.
Right. Babe's office is finished.
Sort of.
It's like 98% done.
I give it 98.9.
Okay. That's it. He don't chill in the bed with me as much as he used to. Like decompression. Like, you know how when you get home from work after you've gotten ready for bed and you sitting up in the bed, and even if you on your phone or whatever, and I'm on my phone, on my iPad, like, you're right there. You're literally right there. Now you ain't right there.
Right.
Now you're sitting in the office. And so it's like.
But just for clarification, I'm not sitting there doing nothing.
I know he's working, but still.
But I'm just going to make sure they understand. I'm not just sitting in there like playing the game.
Right.
Or watching TV. Like, the difference was before, my Mac was in our room.
Right.
So, like, when I was working, I was literally right there, so she could see the back of my head, talk to me, whatever. Yeah. I mean, granted, our house ain't very big, but who wants to holler down the hall and be like, hey, what you doing?
Right. So the other day, I went and stood and I opened the door. He's working away. And I walked in there, and I'm like, I'm sad. It was like, why? I'm like, because you're in here, and I'm in there, And I understand it's going to take some getting used to. He's still in the house. I could go across the hall to see him. It's just the fact that he's not right there.
I can't do this.
No, I can't reach out and touch him. I have to get up, walk down the hallway, cross the hall, and open the door. And then, So anyway, but again, we still spend time together when and where we can, because we both work a lot. You know what I mean? And I think that the separation at times can be healthy, because it allows you to miss me and allows me to miss you. Right. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I'm good with it. You ain't going nowhere, and neither am I.
All right, so the next one is touch, but we're going to save that one for a whole nother podcast for y'all, because That is a deep dive, possibly NC-17 conversation.
Remember what I said. The word for today is
stop.
okay. Because, babe, you can't go any further with the conversation. Like right now. Like you
Right.
can't. Okay.
No, I'm literally about to say. And the last one is service.
Okay.
That's one, to me, in my mind, I think I do well.
I agree.
Because I try to, but see, there's certain aspects of that service that when you've done them so long, like do you have to self-check yourself? Like, is this still, like, example, like we talked about last week, and we shared with them, it's like the car doors and the carrying the groceries, right? Like, in my mind, in the beginning, you're like, hey, I want to do this to show love, right? Like, that I respect you, that I love you. But, like, am I still doing it for that reason, or I'm doing it because I've created a habit?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think once, like say for instance, if it's not something that's done, like you get on to the boys about it, right? If it's not something that's done, then I feel like at that moment it's no longer looked at as a habit, but more of, a consistent thing and an obligation. And this is something that you promised yourself that this will be a continual thing. You know what I mean? But even speaking for me on the acts of service, just like last week, babe was dog tired, came home, and his thing is in the evenings, especially like when I cook dinner, and this is something that just got adopted over a period of time. It ain't nothing like, babe, you do the dishes, I'm a cook, whatever. And see, for me, people who know me know that I'm a trained chef. So when I cook, I clean as I go. So the only thing literally that's left is like the pots and pans
that the food
is currently like literally in. And so babe takes it upon himself to, which if I haven't told you recently, I appreciate you like for doing that and more. Okay. But babe would take it upon himself. First of all, I'll cook dinner. He serves me. Okay? He serves me. I'll cook dinner. I'll go and sit down. He would literally bring me my plate. Right? And culturally, I was always raised, it was the opposite. Like, the wife cooks dinner and then she serves her husband. Which, I have no problem doing it and I still do. Like, but more often than not, babe serves me. He's like, listen, you work as hard as I work, and you came home and you cooked and you cleaned. I'm gonna make your plate, and then turn around and clean up the kitchen after the fact. Put the food away. Makes Josh lunches, so on and so forth. So last week, because babe was so super tired when he came home, I cooked. He served me. When we got done eating, I got up and I was helping him clean up the kitchen, and I made, Josh's lunch, because it's just like things like that I feel is necessary, and I watched babe, and he was not moving slow, but I could tell you were hurting, you were tired, and I'm like, I gotta get up and help him. Me and him, we gonna make it through this evening, and then we going to bed. Right.
So that's the thing with teamwork. With service, right? It creates teamwork.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And it shows carrying through action, which is a huge thing. But the downside to service is, once again, it's back to communication, because it's misinterpretation of actions. Like, you could be like, I'm trying to do something to be helpful, and you're like, but you don't think I can do it?
Well, we went through that first couple years of marriage was the years of understanding. Right. I would say that.
But see, that came from you used to having to do everything on your own.
Yeah, this is
right.
True.
So, but that came through communication.
Right.
That we come to understand, be like, oh, okay. So like I shouldn't take offense when you got a look on your face like why are you doing that?
Right.
Because you're like, there was a misunderstanding.
Right.
Like I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
You were like, I'm not used to that being done. Do you not think I can do it?
Right.
No, I think you're quite capable.
And I appreciate that. Like, even looking back on that, like, you had a lot of patience with me because, you know, I was coming from a place of, I was healing, and I had been hurt and mishandled. Right? So, and that came from the conversations we were having into the wee hours of the morning when I was like telling you everything that I had gone through and everything that I could recall and the things that I learned from it and how I preferred to be treated and so on and so forth. But I didn't even know what that looked like.
Right.
I really didn't. I was like, yeah, I just don't want to have to do that anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know the machine's broke, but I don't know what part is broke.
Right.
But it needs to get fixed.
But it gotta get fixed. But I don't know what screw is loose. I don't know what bolt is missing. Like, I don't know. But I just know.
I don't know if it's the heat side or the cold side. It just don't work. That's all I know. It just don't work.
Right. So, and babe just, it was like, and it really speaks to who you are, like the things that you love to do.
Right.
Because you like to fix stuff. Right?
But see, all right, so, but see, this is how the five play off each other, right? So like you had a video, I don't know if it was your channel or on our family, on this channel, right? But when I had cut the cabbage up, right? But the words of affirmation that come when you see that I've done something.
It was on my channel.
Right?
Yeah.
Like to help you in the kitchen or whatever.
Right.
Like those are the affirmation words. Like, once again, I don't feel like I need them, but they feel good.
And see it again, it just comes from a very organic place. Like when I see you do it, I have to speak on it because I am so appreciative.
Well, they said if you see something, say something.
Right, that's right. So I'm so appreciative that I don't ever want it to go unsaid because I know what that feels like.
Right.
I know what it feels like for you to like really, really put your all into something and just really give yourself over to a situation and then be like, so what you think? Did you like it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know how diminishing that is? You know what I'm saying? So I always like to say, babe, I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, and I know you didn't have to do it, and I appreciate it. It just makes life so fulfilling with you that you just do things without any direction. You don't do it because I asked you to. A lot of times you do stuff I don't even ask you to do. You just do it because, hey, babe would like this. It needs to be done. Let me go ahead and knock this out. You know, and I really, 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 really appreciate it.
But see, that's where the dishes thing came from.
Right.
Because being with you, like, we're not going to bed with dirty dishes in the sink,
That
right?
is a fact, sir.
And, but see, that's a habit that now I've picked up.
Uh-huh.
And you see, like, when I wake up in the morning and chilling, and put dirty dishes in the sink.
Right.
It
aggravates.
It works a nerve.
Yeah.
You know, and so like just like last night, you know, we get ready to go to sleep. I was like, oh, I need some water. I walk in here, it was a hot mess. Like, I was like, I can't go to bed like this.
Yeah. Well, in defense of.
Well, no, it was coming out of the Shabbat.
Right.
But the thing is, like,
once the sun was down and you saw the mess.
Right, because the stuff that could go in the dishwasher was in the dishwasher.
Right.
It still had the pan from the pizza, no, from the burgers.
Yeah.
Egg pan, and then, you know, it was just like, it wasn't a lot, but it was just the fact that when you look at it, you're like,
right.
So
Right.
I can't go to sleep like that.
Right.
So we touched on the 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we got a good basis for them. Once again, my final note is that you can't have one of them. You can't have 2 of them. I believe you have to have all 5.
For sure. For sure.
So that's my final thoughts. Any final thoughts for you?
I love these podcasts. I hope you guys enjoy them as well, because, you know, I feel like at the very least you'll be able to take something from it, like
Right.
one thing. You know what I mean? I know for me, it just kind of like fortifies some things in me
Right.
about our relationship, our love, our marriage. So it's somewhat, I wouldn't call it therapeutic, but
I mean, in a way, it is.
It is.
But
It
it's
is.
self-therapy.
and so it really makes me just to kind of like, hey, you know, you think about things that you kind of put on a back burner, or you know, in the recesses in your mind, and it comes up and you're like, wow, dang, you know, me and babe, we make a good team. We doing all right.
Wonder Twins activate.
I'm telling you. So, but yeah, I am enjoying these. I hope that you guys are enjoying them as well. Comment below if you have any ideas of like any podcast topics you want us to cover. Yeah, that's it. Like,
Shoot us an email if you want. It's down there in the comments. I mean, in the description. We'd love to hear from you. Share your stories with us. But we love y'all. And until next time,
shalom.